It is the Riot Podcast, the Tuesday, September 12th edition, and we'll start today's show with the elephant in the room. Yes, I am wearing my Aaron Rodgers jersey for the second day in a row. No, I didn't wash it in between. And what else do you expect me to do?
Tough night.
Yeah. I did use it to cry myself to sleep last night. By now, I'm sure you probably heard, I don't think the Riot is necessarily your source for breaking news, but Aaron Rodgers left the game, his very first game with the New York Jets, left on the first offensive series, getting through just 4 plays before he seems to have the fear is that it may be an Achilles injury, which would have very likely have him out for the rest of the season, if not end his career, just because it'd be a difficult injury to come back from when he's been around for so long. The Jets, though, did still manage to win the game last night against the Buffalo Bills, even despite having Zach Wilson in a quarterback.
It's a good win for them. I'm reading just an hour ago, Ian Rappaport put out his story on Aaron Rodgers, who's feared to have torn his Achilles, which the MRI is expected to confirm today.
Ooh.
Not looking good.
That's bad news
for Aaron Rodgers.
That is bad news. So a couple thoughts I have on this, and I've had some time to think. First of all is congratulations to the Jets on the win last night.
Good win?
Yeah. For them to be able to overcome the adversity. I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers getting injured, leaving the field, getting carted off. It took the air out of everybody's sails, and yet they still managed to battle back with a little bit of help from Bills quarterback Josh Allen. The Jets managed to get the win. I think it's really a testament to the winning culture that Aaron Rodgers brings with him. You think the Jets win that game last year with no Aaron Rodgers, even though he barely played in this one? No, not a chance. Now, Aaron Rodgers, you bring him into the building, even though he's not actually playing, he demands the best. He got everybody on the same page. And you have to admire that. That's what makes him the GOAT. Secondly, Aaron Rodgers, if anybody can battle back from this, it's him. Wouldn't you say?
He has a chance to.
He has a chance, whether it's through the standard, operations and rehab, or maybe he has like a shaman or something that he calls up. He gets on the horn. Whatever works, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be back out there. I think we're going to get some good news eventually. You think he's going to come back
this season?
Yeah.
No.
What about next season?
It's tough to say if he's going to return. They say he's projected, if he did tear his Achilles,
yeah,
he would get surgery within the week, essentially, and then he would be...
fast track it.
He would predictably be ready by, like, the spring if he wanted to play again next year. Do I think he'll come back? I don't know. When he was in Green Bay, he talked about retirement more than quarterbacks that were actually retiring.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if he would come back for another season. I think if he had played multiple games with the Jets and they looked good and then he got injured, it would be more likely for him to come back. But now at this point, for him to have not played any meaningful snaps, get injured, have to wait till next year to play again, he just is a year older.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if he came back for next year. At this point, I think he might be done.
He just seems so fired up, though. He just had a fire in him up until he got hurt. And so maybe that fire is still burning bright and it's going to motivate him to get through the rehab process. I think almost it might be more likely that he comes back just because it was so quick that because you just have the questions in the back of your mind of what could have been if you never even try. Maybe he gets back out there, and I can't even believe I'm saying this. Maybe he gets back out there next year and he sucks, but at least you know.
So I was gonna say.
At least you know. Whereas if he just says, you know what, I don't know if I'm ready to rehab. I mean, he could be back in the spring. It's not going to be an easy rehab, but he's got to get back in shape. He's got to heal up anyways. might as well have a goal in mind of being back on the field.
And my question is, too, how long do the Jets want to wait around? Like their franchise, this year was going to be Super Bowl or bust, essentially is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play at all this year and they wait till next year and they let him be their quarterback again, like this franchise is just pushing their real answer at quarterback down the line. Because Aaron Rodgers, there's no, in my mind, if he does come back for next year, that's it. Has to be
1 year, yeah.
1 year deal. And then after that, then the Jets can figure out where they're moving forward with. It's just tough because also with the Jets, if they have Zach Wilson as their quarterback the rest of this year, I personally don't think that's, you're not left in good hands, obviously.
No. Possibly the worst quarterback in the league.
Exactly. And you're in a division with the Bills, who they ended up beating last night, but are a very good team. The Dolphins, who looked really good this past Sunday, and the Patriots, who looked formidable against the Eagles. And so they're in a very tough division. This Jets team could, even with all the talent they have, could fall off the rails really quickly with Zach Wilson at quarterback. And then you start to think, what's everybody talked about every Saturday this year? How good all the quarterbacks look. Why would they not go with Drake May?
Yeah.
Why would they not draft a quarterback and start building for the future instead of hoping that Aaron Rodgers comes off of this torn Achilles, possibly, and comes back and is good again? It is obviously, his height is so great, and you think that he would come back next year and be really good, but also it's a risk for the Jets to push it down the line another year of possibly trying to find their answer at quarterback for long term.
Yeah, it's true. It's true that it really puts them in a difficult spot. This year, assuming Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, what do you think? What do you think is, first of all, do you think they pursue somebody else, some kind of free agent? And secondly, what do you think they wind up doing?
I think it would be smart of them to go get like a Carson Wentz or even a Jameis Winston would be an upgrade over Zach Wilson just because of how he played last night. He just did. I was really hoping that he was going to come in and look good.
Yeah, he looked all right in the preseason.
I was like, this is storybook.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, who everyone's been hyped up for, goes down, and Zach Wilson comes in and kills that.
Aaron Rodgers said he wanted to hand it off to Zach Wilson in a couple of years.
I was like, here we go.
He had a lot of faith in the guy.
They did win the game, but Zach Wilson did not look good.
No.
And so just looking at their schedule ahead, especially with this division, I don't see them being any more than a right at 500 team. I think max wins they walk out with is 9, and that's super hopeful. I think they're closer to the 6 or 7 range than 9.
You look at how good the defense looked, and what yet again the Aaron Rodgers effect of elevating everybody on the team. Quite frankly, even just his presence, his spirit, and I think the Jets almost made the playoffs last year with a bunch of tomato cans at quarterback. I think they can, whether they bring in somebody else or just ride with Zach Wilson, their defense and every other spot of the roster is so good, maybe they can still make the playoffs. I will concede.
There's no way they can make the playoffs.
I will concede they're not going to win the division now. Clearly, that will be the Patriots. But I think the Jets they've got a great roster, and you just never know. Finally, I want to finish this off by spreading some blame around. Because, it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault, is it?
That he got hurt?
Yeah.
Or, it's nobody's fault he got hurt. It's just how it goes sometimes.
It is somebody's fault. It's
the O-line?
Let's look at the fault pie. I give like 10% to the offensive line. It wasn't very good.
It was pretty bad last night.
Yeah. So, what is he in for 4 plays? And he was running away on like 3 of them.
3 of the 4.
And then I give more of the blame to the NFL for having these turf fields.
Okay.
Which Aaron Rodgers and many other players have complained about in the past and said this exact thing would happen, and then lo and behold. And then finally, I put the most blame on the Green Bay Packers.
Whoa.
Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst, I hope you slept well last night, knowing you may have cost a man his livelihood by running him out of town to a dangerous situation when you could have very well just kept him in. The Packers scored 38 points with Jordan Love at quarterback. Can you imagine what they would have done with Aaron Rodgers back there this weekend?
I think that people might argue in the Green Bay Packers fanhood, they might say they made the right choice.
We'll see about that.
Is Jordan Love ready?
We'll see about that.
To take over the reins? Would Aaron Rodgers have put up 38 yesterday?
All I'll say is whatever...
he didn't put up any last night, unfortunately.
Yeah, whatever Jordan Love winds up doing, and it may be very good. Maybe they win the Super Bowl for all I care. I'd be very happy with that as still a lingering Packers fan. However, it would be better with Aaron Rodgers.
But they're doing what the Jets aren't, which is moving on. The Jets, what's their plan in 2 years? They don't have one. The Packers, they might have found out on Sunday.
Who cares about 2 years from now? I care about now. I care about today. And Aaron Rodgers, if he was in Green Bay, they would have already won the Super Bowl this year.
In your heart.
Yeah.
In your heart, they would. So not a Jordan Love fan. I'm glad that we've gotten that on the air.
He looks good. He's just not, he's no Aaron Rodgers. Call me when he wins a bunch of MVPs and Super Bowl.
He played on Sunday.
He had the benefit of grass.
He got sacked and he played.
It's the Riot.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Now, you think this is okay? There's a lot of pressure, especially when you're a bride, to look great on your wedding day. It's supposed to be like the best you ever look, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
What if instead of looking the best you have ever looked, you just make everybody else look worse in comparison?
Well, that's not going to help.
It might help.
It's not going to help.
As long as you're the best looking person there.
No, not going to help.
That is exactly what one woman here, one bride, has confessed to doing. This lady said she got married in 2018, it looks like. And she's coming out with this story where she says she had two sisters. Obviously, the sisters are going to be bridesmaids. But she felt growing up and going through life that she was always like, she was the middle child, felt like the other two sisters were much prettier, just got way more attention than she did. And so for the wedding day, having them as bridesmaids, she wanted to make it so that they kind of looked their worst compared to her, where she's obviously going to be all done up and looking her absolute best. And so maybe this could be her one shot to look better than her sisters. So check out what she did. First of all, I imagine that this happens at weddings from time to time. She tried to pick out a bridesmaid dress that was very unflattering to them. That feels like a few vindictive bridezillas might do that from time to time, right?
She went with neon yellow so they'd be washed out and ill-looking.
Yeah. So that's one tactic. I feel like that, I don't know if that happens commonly, but I don't think she's the first person to ever do that. But she took it a step further. She also says at this time, like leading up to the wedding, her and her two sisters all lived together. So every morning she would make them like a special smoothie that she said to them was like a health smoothie that would help them lose weight or whatever, help them look their best. But it was actually a weight gain smoothie. She says, this is a quote, "I even went as far as buying a weight loss shake, emptying the contents, and filling it instead with a mega weight gain protein powder." She had a bodybuilding store.
That's so messed up.
She was fattening up her two sisters so that they looked bigger than her for the wedding. And you think that's messed up?
Do I think? Yes, I think that's unsafe. If anything, I think that's unsafe.
Well, what's the worst that could happen?
Weight gain isn't a thing to play around with. I mean, if all of a sudden you start putting on weight, it becomes, as you age, it becomes increasingly harder to shed that off.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have literally been the start of one of her sisters going from thin to very thick.
Yeah. Well, one of them's younger than her, so you'd think she'd have time.
So I guess it's all just good and dandy. Well, she's only 21, so I mean, she'll slim it off easy.
She's got another 5 years.
Yeah, she'll just slim it right off.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Nobody under the age of 21 is obese. No way.
I know that it's wrong what she did, but can I just say that I love it? I love the thought process. It's kind of like if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I like the idea. I could get in better shape, or I could make my bridesmaids get in worse shape and have the same effect. I love it. It's wrong, but I love it.
I'm against it. I think even just her thought process is wrong. I think even if you're like, you may be the best looking one up there, but either way, everyone's paying attention to the bride anyway. I mean, even if you had a model next to you standing up there, it's still your day. Everyone might say, oh, she's really attractive. But then the attention just goes right back to you. So I think she was wrong to begin with. She didn't have to do that to her sisters for her day to be special.
I mean,
but understandably so.
You get this, Isaiah. You're a middle child. That's probably the reason you do what you do now. Is you just are calling out for attention. That's all she wants. She wants this to be one day where she can get more attention than her gosh darn sisters.
Well, let me tell you this. If you can't figure out how to get attention on your wedding day, then maybe you don't deserve attention. I don't know what to say to you. If you can't figure it out on the day that it's literally all about you, then I don't know what to say.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
I don't think I've ever done this. Voting is now open for the sexiest man alive, according to People, and you could have your say. You could cast your vote. I'm seeing here. I've never done this. Isaiah, you want to cast your vote for the sexiest man alive?
I don't think it's fair for me to put in my opinion.
Why do you say that?
I don't feel like this is really my thing, so I don't. For me, I think it's interesting to talk about, but I think this is more of a girl thing.
You can't.
Than for me to vote on it.
You can't,
because it doesn't matter to me, so I wouldn't want them to take my vote into consideration if it's going to ruin somebody else's day.
You can't objectively.
I mean, I can tell you who's going to. I can tell you who's going to win.
You know?
Oh, I know.
Who do you think it's going to be?
See, when they look at some of the possible options, right?
Yeah.
Keanu's on here.
No way.
You didn't see him on there?
No, I mean, I see him.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to.
There's no chance that Keanu is going to win.
I'm naming the options.
2023.
Keanu Reeves is on there.
Yep.
We also have Harry Styles, who's a front runner every year.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to do it.
Joe Burrow's on there. We all know he ain't winning recently.
Yeah.
Am I right? Or am I right? It's going to be Ryan Gosling.
You think Ryan Gosling?
He's on there as a possible candidate. That Barbie hype is going to shoot him straight to the top.
I don't think so, although he is a sexy man. But I think we can't forget, go back in time about, go back to February, I would say. Yeah, because it was around the Super Bowl. Think about how all enthralled we were with Pedro Pascal. You're telling me he's not going to win just because the Last of Us hasn't been on TV for a little while? Pedro Pascal is the sexiest man alive.
That's your pick?
Yeah. I mean, I love Ryan Gosling. I love Paul Rudd would be an excellent choice. He's won before, I believe.
He won like 2 years ago, so I think it's too soon for him.
Yeah, too soon to he can't repeat so close. But Pedro Pascal may be the right choice. I'm looking through here. When you vote, you don't just type in who you think the sexiest man alive is, because obviously I'd type in myself. But what you do is they have it broken up into categories. I think there's a malfunction with the sound effects. But anyways, you go through the categories. I'm looking at, so I have the category here, sexiest musician. Okay, Harry Styles, understand why he's in. Bad Bunny, of course, very.
Bad Bunny.
He's your lookalike, so you should be proud of that. Future, sure. Tim McGraw. They're making sure the grandmas still want to vote, it looks like. Having
Tim McGraw.
Giving the grandmas an option to vote
he's only
for
56. He looks good. They're trying to do a little bit of everything, you know?
Some of the other categories, sexiest blockbuster star, Keanu, of course. Chris Hemsworth, great choice. Michael B. Jordan, he's won before, right?
He has to have won before, right?
Is it winning? He's been awarded before. He's been named before. And then Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer.
Wow. He's really popular as of late.
He is, huh?
Yeah, on TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know if that feels like a more niche obsession.
Yeah, I've seen him on TikTok a lot. Chris Hemsworth won in 2014. We also had Michael B. Jordan just won in 2020. So I'm not seeing either of them running it back.
These categories are wild, too. Sexiest first-time dad.
Oh, who are our options?
Brooks Koepka, the golfer. Tom Hiddleston.
People love Tom Hiddleston, too.
Very sexy. Alexander Ludwig and Daniel Radcliffe. Harry Potter himself. Yep. Who would have guessed back when he was playing Harry Potter that one day he could be up for sexiest first-time dad.
Jeez, if the Harry Potter fans have anything to say about it, we know who's gonna win.
A murderer's row of options there. Well, cast your votes. I know I am for sexiest man alive in all the categories.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
We're talking about how McDonald's has pledged to, when I say pledge, I guess that makes it sound like it's some climate initiative or something. They're not doing it for anybody but themselves. McDonald's has said that they are planning on getting rid of all of their self-service drink fountains, soda fountains, by the year 2032. Some good opinions coming in. Ryan texted and he said McDonald's is doing that so they can fill every cup with more ice and less drink.
True.
That's so true. Because when I go in, I might, if I do it self-serve, I might put like 3 cubes in, or I just have it the way it comes, like fill the whole cup with soda. I'm single-handedly putting McDonald's out of business by doing that.
Yeah.
Then Justin texted in. Justin said, the average McDonald's is not well enough staffed or run to have someone refill customer drinks. I don't want to wait in line just for more drink. It's true. They're probably banking on that, Justin. They're probably thinking like this is another way, just like Ryan said, to actually screw the customers more, in a sense.
So let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
McDonald's doesn't have the freestyle machines.
Yeah.
That's only a Wendy's thing, right?
That's Wendy's. A lot of Burger Kings, I think, do have them, actually.
So,
maybe. I could be wrong.
So they're just getting rid of the old-fashioned single serve. There's only one each, right?
Yeah.
They don't have a big fancy machine.
No.
Interesting.
Much more limited choices.
They just can't compete with the likes of Wendy's and Burger King in the soda department, clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ain't got that Coke freestyle machine, you're in those single servers.
Yeah, but you know what I don't get, and this has been often talked about, is how even though McDonald's doesn't have a freestyle machine, any soda coming out of a McDonald's machine still tastes better than a soda coming out of a freestyle anywhere you go.
Oh, if you get a Sprite or a Coke?
Yeah.
100%.
It hits different. And
it's good.
It's weighed, however they have it calibrated, the carbonation, the syrup mixture, the ratio. Some have said before the straws are even different. Whatever it is, whatever their secrets are, the magic that McDonald's uses, their sodas taste better, but it's not going to be harder to get them. And I think we're all worse off for it. I can't imagine it's hurting them that much, you know?
Yeah, but in their mind, they're just like, in the next 10 years, get rid of them all.
Yeah. What?
Every time one goes out, they're just going to say, donezo. It's over.
Think about this. One more question. What are they going to put there instead?
More seating.
Which is counterintuitive.
More seats.
Since they say nobody's coming in anymore is the whole reasoning behind this.
Maybe a third window for the drive-thru.
Yeah, you know what? That's another place to pull forward because your food's not ready yet.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
A big change is coming to McDonald's over the next decade. McDonald's is promising to get rid of all of their self-serve soft drink fountains by the year 2032.
I'm against it.
You're upset with this, huh?
I don't like it. But I haven't been inside of a McDonald's in a long time. But if I ever were to return, I'd like to be able to pour my own drink.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you are the exact reason why they're getting rid of these things. Because they, according to McDonald's, customer habits have changed. People aren't eating in at McDonald's, dining in like they used to. So I guess the self-serve soda fountains a little less useful than perhaps they used to be. But I wish we could have some disagreement here. I'm very upset. I do occasionally sit in at McDonald's, but even more than I sit in, I will go into McDonald's and like pick up the food, and then I just like to get the drink myself. What's so bad about that? But here's what's even more confusing to me, Isaiah. See if you agree. Feels like we're getting very mixed messages here. I understand they don't want us to sit. If we apparently, as people, as customers, we don't want to sit in McDonald's. And McDonald's doesn't want us in there, evidently. But what I am getting mixed messages with, is they want us to do the work when it comes to like ordering. They're putting in the kiosk, do it yourself. But then when it comes to the drink, why can't we do it ourselves? That's less work for the workers, wouldn't you say?
See, the only reason I think they're getting rid of them, though, is so they don't have to fill them up.
Fill them up with, what do you mean?
Because they're saying that people aren't using the standalone do-it-yourself drink, soda stream, whatever they're using. And so they don't want to fill those up with like the liquid stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're obviously not using those same ones for the drive-thru. And so they're saying they're just sitting there and probably going to waste, if I had to guess. So I think they're thinking of that as like a way to cut costs.
It's like soda syrup. It doesn't expire.
I know, but I just assume it's a way to cut costs.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was free, they would just leave it.
Probably like maintaining the machines costs money. And it takes, it probably does take an employee like 30 seconds to go stock up the straws and cups every once in a while, or straws and lids every once in a while. So, yeah, I get it. It's just, it makes me upset, And again, mixed messages. Do you want us to do things ourselves? Do you want to fire all your employees and have us and robots do everything? Or do you want, would you like employees to still service? Because I'm really confused.
And I know they say they're going to get rid of them at all locations. I don't believe that. I don't. You don't think?
I mean, they've got 9 years according to their goals.
I don't think so. Just because I can imagine there's always especially in small towns, there's always a place that middle schoolers or elementary kids will go after school to go hang out. And I bet there's a lot of small towns where that place is McDonald's. And I guarantee there's kids who go there after school. They get a soft drink, and they sit there with their friends. They probably refill it. And so I guarantee at those locations, they will not get phased out.
That's probably the top place they want to get rid of them.
Yeah. Well,
these middle schoolers are taking up all our soda.
It's the one place they're making money off of them. So in my mind, that is where the real travesty is.
Yeah.
Is where the middle schoolers / maybe some high schoolers or elementary kids go to McDonald's, sit in there, get their refill, and hang out with their friends.
Won't somebody shed a tear for the 14-year-olds? That aren't going to be able to get their Sprites.
Mountain Dew after school.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I bet it was an awesome time.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
I have this is interesting right here. A list of the top things that make people uncomfortable. And it's wild to see the gap between men and women for so many of these. But I will tell you that the number one thing that makes both men and women both uncomfortable, it's the same thing.
What is it?
Being naked in a same-gender changing room.
That doesn't happen very often, I don't think.
It doesn't?
No.
Like at the gym? I guess is the only place that would really take place, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I guess for people, it's a good thing that is not something that happens very commonly because it makes so many people upset. But this is interesting. Who would you think is more upset? Would be more uncomfortable by that, men or women? If you had to guess,
probably men.
Shockingly, no.
Really?
49% of men are uncomfortable being naked in a changing room, whereas 67% of women are uncomfortable being in a changing room naked.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought women were hyping each other up.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what goes down.
The ladies are a little more accepting of the body.
Yeah, apparently not. I don't know what happens in women's changing rooms, but the ladies are not comfortable around each other. But for men, it's actually a 50-50 shot whether you're comfortable being naked. For example, Isaiah, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm very comfortable being naked.
I'm in the same boat.
Oh, okay. So we're not split at all. I'm barely clothed right now.
I go to the gym every day and shower at the gym. So for me, I know that people aren't paying attention, so it doesn't really bother me too much.
Right.
Everybody feels the same uncomfortableness in there, and nobody wants it to last any longer than it has to.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, I don't get too worked up about it.
There's always one weird guy, but that's always I also think about.
I don't like to think about that guy.
No, but I just think that there's, my body's not the weirdest in there too. I always think about that. It might be now. Never mind. But okay, so the number two. The number 2 thing that made people uncomfortable was crying in front of a friend. But as you can imagine, in this case, it made men way more uncomfortable than women.
I could imagine that.
Would you be more, I guess you're comfortable being naked, so you'd probably be more uncomfortable crying in front of a friend, right?
I think that what I would be even more uncomfortable with is a friend crying in front of me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do if that happens. I don't know what to say. I have to stand in front of them and be like comforting.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is.
That wasn't listed here as one of the options, but that's so true.
I would rather be the one crying.
Yeah.
Than have to stand there and be like, it's okay. You don't have to cry.
Yeah.
Like the first time you cried in the studio after I roasted you, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you'd think after it's happened so many times, you would eventually just become used to it.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Next up was having to share a bed with someone of the same gender. Yet again, men way more uncomfortable with that than women.
I don't get that, but
me neither. You
I don't
never
mind
had
that at all.
sleepovers or whatever as a kid?
Yeah, me and my friends
I
growing up.
struggle to think of the situation now as an adult where that would come up, but for men, 42% uncomfortable with that, where just 21% of women. Let's see. Also, we have saying I love you to a friend of the same gender, which once again, shockingly, men way more uncomfortable with that, 45% versus only 17% of women. And this is a funny one to me. Would you be uncomfortable applying sunscreen to your friend's back?
No. I do that like every weekend.
You do that for me?
I do that for you, yeah. I do it every weekend for my friends when we go to the pool.
When I'm looking down the list, that might be the top one that feels weird to me, even though, like, if you asked, I guess I would. It would just feel weird. But 42% of men uncomfortable with that, just 10% of women.
Yeah, that doesn't feel weird to me at all. I do that literally, I do that every Saturday. So that isn't weird for me.
You just gotten used to it, I guess.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
This is, think back to when you were a kid, Isaiah. See if this would be exciting to you. Lunchables grilled cheese. I knew it. I knew this would be a winning idea. Lunchables has a new snack available. It takes just 60 seconds to prepare. It's frozen. Frozen grilled cheese from Lunchables. They've got, it looks here like they've got the standard grilled cheese option and then pepperoni pizza grilled cheese. Grab it in the frozen aisle, pop it in the microwave, 60 seconds, boom. You've got yourself an after-school snack, Lunchables grilled cheese. Are you into it?
My question for this is, it's saying Lunchables, not Lunchables grilled cheese, but Lunchables crispy grilled cheese.
That's a bold claim.
May I ask you this? Have you ever put bread in the microwave and it come out crispy?
No.
It's never happened for me.
But I've never tried to reheat a grilled cheese either.
There's no way that bread is crispy.
It's hard to imagine, isn't it?
It's hard.
It's difficult to imagine.
You know what they're going to sell you on? I guarantee, and we've all used these before.
Yeah.
A lot of times in like a Hot Pocket. Or one of those weird little frozen treats where they put it on like the crisping sheet.
Yeah.
What a scam.
The sleeve.
What a scam. Like this is going to crispen it up. This little like silver platter. You put it on there. Oh, it's going to be crisp.
It's, they call it their new, specially designed, they call it their 360 crisp packaging. It says,
yeah, they did.
It will achieve a golden brown, pan-like crisp outside and melty cheese inside with no pans or stovetop required.
No chance.
You think it's...
I think there's a 0% chance that thing comes out crispy. There's no way.
Do you think this would be better or worse than your favorite Hot Pocket?
Good question. I lean Hot Pocket just because I know what comes in Hot Pocket, and the Hot Pocket isn't something that's going to disappoint me.
Yeah.
This has a chance to be very disappointing.
It could be aggressively bad.
That's what I'm thinking too, is like if you think about a grilled cheese... If I told you right now, here, make a grilled cheese in the microwave for your lunch, you would be pretty disappointed with that. Yeah. And so you're literally relying on this crisping tray And there hasn't been many times in my life where one of those has ever impressed me.
I can't say I'm not intrigued, though.
Maybe we should try them.
I think we probably should. I think we definitely probably should.
Would this even be a top 3 Lunchable? If you had to project.
I think it's got a shot at that, but I don't really, besides the pizza Lunchable, I'm not the biggest Lunchable supporter because I don't like cold lunch meat. So that's just not my style.
See, I like the cracker one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the cracker one. I'm a big fan of that. And then also the nacho one when I was a child.
Nachos is good.
Nachos was solid.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think the picture looks good. But I want to see a picture of somebody that actually made it, not the picture on the box, too. But, there's only one way to find out. We're going to have to get these for ourselves. It says it's $4.90. That's also a sticking point. $4.99 for a 2-count box. You're paying $5 for 2 crappy grilled cheese, most
Let me
likely.
ask you this, too. Are they counting it as 2 full grilled cheeses?
Or 2 halves.
Or 2 halves. They're counting it as 2 halves. They are.
Yeah. We'll find out. We'll do one of these. This is one of those cases where we will definitely do this so that you can possibly avoid it. If you don't have to waste your hard-earned money.
So you don't buy this for your child.
Yeah.
And they'll have a soggy grilled cheese for lunch.
Find more Riot content online. riot.radiou.com.
In New Jersey, where people are getting upset, they've been reporting to the authorities that their pools are turning green. It's a pretty standard thing to take place, right?
They're a little behind on the chemicals, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what you would expect. But in fact, it's a chemical that's being added in that is the problem. We have a man who is accused of turning other people's pools green, and the way he's doing this is using a green dye to turn the pools green. And you might be wondering, how is he doing this?
Sneaky.
Yeah. He's actually using, allegedly, a drone to drop this dye into his neighbor's pools. According to reports, according to the complaints that are being filed, which has landed this guy in some trouble because not only is he just facing the charges, not only is it a problem because he's messing with other people's property, but because there's a drone involved, that means the FAA could be involved, which takes us to a whole nother level. So here's the backstory. This goes all the way back to late June when the general manager of a Quality Inn reported that their outdoor pool had suddenly turned neon green, and she could tell it wasn't algae. Now, here's another thing that comes into play. You might be thinking, Quality Inn, okay, what is this guy like? A competing hotel, perhaps?
Oh.
Would it be that
would add up.
A motive that would make sense? But no, because the other people that have had their pools turned green are just random people. So he's just randomly turning people's pools green with a drone. And so now you ask the question, why? And that's where I ask the question, why? Because that I don't have an answer for.
Oh, I've got an answer.
Oh, you know why?
And I'm telling you this much. He's not doing it by himself either.
Oh, okay.
I imagine this going down in a living room, maybe a backyard, even maybe a cookout.
Yeah.
With a couple of his buddies, and they're laughing. They are laughing.
They just think it's funny.
They think it's hilarious. It's a comedic string.
So the motive is literally because it's fun.
Oh, they're snickering.
Yeah.
They're belly laughing as he's dropping these in there.
I wish we had the clip from SpongeBob where Squidward goes, but it's fun. That's what's happening. That's his excuse.
I can imagine 3 of them together in the backyard. And then as soon as he got caught, both his buddies out of there.
Sold him.
Straight back to their wives. Out. I barely even hang out with them.
We tried to talk him out of it. He just kept saying, look what I can do with my drone.
They're
check
snickering.
This out. Hold my beer. He kept saying. It is unique too because this isn't just like he was using a special dye that's usually used by like divers and search and rescue teams. It can be damaging to pools, So this is it's a little more serious business than just, oh, you got to clean the pool, drain the water out, that kind of stuff. Like this is, it's pretty significant what this guy has done. A pretty actually meaningful prank that he's pulled off.
You should have went with red. Red would have been way wilder than green.
Yeah.
Imagine walking out of your backyard and your pool is just completely red.
People would think
Blood
some other crime. Yeah.
You think blood right away.
They might think they're cursed
Uh-huh.
if you did that.
The green,
Now-
the green's good because I guess you get the algae. Maybe you think it's dirty. But I can already imagine him and his
Red.
buddies.
Yeah.
One more drop. One more drop.
Now that's a prank.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
You seen this trend going around on TikTok? It's girl hammers. Do you own an actual hammer, Isaiah?
Of course I do.
You do, because you're a man.
No. Because I want to be able to fix things.
Yeah. Fix things, hang stuff up. It seems here, according to this trend, that for girls, it's less fixing things and more hanging stuff up.
Makes sense.
You got stuff, you just gotta hang it up, but you might not have a hammer. And so ladies are sharing the different materials, objects they've used around the house to hammer nails. And some of the examples are amazing. It all started with a video that says everyone's talking about girl dinner, but nobody's talking about girl hammers. A girl hammer could be a Yankee Candle, perhaps. It's one option. Also, Bluetooth speaker.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got to be a durable speaker.
Must be.
Heavy duty. Heavy book. I kind of like that one. What about an empty pot as a hammer, a girl hammer? And then where was the one that was a can of soup is my favorite.
A can, that one, you could burst that open.
Yeah, that could be a mess.
Depending on the nail.
You could have a big problem. So you've never done anything like this, though? You've always had a hammer handy?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because I haven't always. Kind of when I went through, you have roommates, you bouncing around places. I didn't have a hammer. That wasn't something that made the trip from house to house that I moved through in life. Now I have a hammer.
Yeah, when I first went to college, my parents got me what I call a stumpy hammer.
A stumpy hammer?
Yeah, it's about the size of my hand.
Okay.
And and then you can kind of like put it anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like for
Keep
like
it in your purse.
For a dorm room, It's like the perfect hammer because you don't need like a full-size hammer for anything in there.
Yeah.
But I still have it. But now I also have a real hammer too in my tool bag. But this year seems like a bunch of failed fathers.
You think so?
Yeah, for 100%.
There's
no reason if you're
gifting their daughters.
This should be a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
100%. If you need, there's two tools that you really need. All it is a screwdriver.
Uh-huh. You gotta have a screwdriver.
And a hammer.
A screwdriver with all the different heads.
Like when dads say, I don't know what to get my daughter for Christmas. I have no idea what to get her. Get her a hammer.
Sounds like my dad. He never
Get her
knows.
a screwdriver. In the moment, she's going to be like, wow, Dad, like, this is a gift that you got me. But when it comes to the day, she'll be happy that you got her that hammer.
You should.
When she's using a soup can to hang up her pictures.
Yeah. You should get a hammer for, like, a girl in your life. Get her a hammer for her next birthday or Christmas. And on the handle, just have it say, "You're welcome."
Yeah. You get her, like, a stumpy one.
Yeah.
You don't have to get her a full-size one. You can get her one of the stumpy ones because they're kind of like cute looking too. She's like, look at this cute little hammer.
A mini hammer.
A little mini hammer for me. That's perfect.
I think, for me, I didn't ever use, I don't know. I mean, there has to be a time where I used a shoe as a hammer. But what I would do more often is instead of using nails, I just thumbtack everything. Push pins.
In the wall?
That was my hack, yeah.
Jeez, I didn't know you were such a decorator.
I was, yeah. Well, I had to hang up my posters of Aaron Rodgers.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
In Hollywood, they're on strike, the Writers Guild, as well as the actors, with no end in sight at this point of either side reaching an agreement with the big wigs in Hollywood. So eventually, at some point, somebody's got to cross that picket line, right?
Somebody will.
Somebody will, and I'll tell you who that somebody is. It's Drew Barrymore.
Drew.
Yeah.
How could you?
How could you turn your back on the writers and actors like that? Drew Barrymore recently announced that she will be crossing the picket line starting next week. The Drew Barrymore show is going to be back on the air. Now, it will be a little different, of course, because I guess it won't have writers, obviously. They also will not discuss or promote film and television that is struck by the Writers Guild and Actors Guild that's included by in that right now. But she will be there to provide what writers do so well, which is a way to bring us together or help us make sense of the human experience. The Drew Barrymore show is not the only show that's returning, but she seems to be like the first to kind of say, all right, we'll do this. And now a few other shows, it looks like The Talk and some other daytime talk shows will be joining as well. You ready to have some new episodes of the Drew Barrymore show?
I have been dying without it.
Yeah, it's been tough.
I'm not even sure what channel it's on. I've never even seen it.
I mean, one of the local ones, CBS.
Daytime television?
Yeah, like it's on CBS probably after the world turns or something. This is going to be, I think what this is going to be is just, it's going to be sad when this comes back on the air next week, because you're going to see how important the writers actually are to these shows, even though they seem so off the cuff. I think we're going to see people out there floundering. You know what a show is, like a daytime talk show is without writers? This. It's radio. It's the Riot. That's what it is. You think we have writers? We never have. That's why we're still able to keep doing this. And, you know, Drew Barrymore is not used to not having everything probably so much scripted out for her. So it'll be interesting to see. It might actually be more interesting to watch than when the show is normally on.
You know what I think, too, is this is the door opening.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think is going to happen next?
Everyone else is going to start going back. This is just
With
the
what?
first domino to fall. Start going back to their shows, actors getting back going. It's going to be everybody's going to go back. They're going to abandon the writers. I guarantee it. Because everyone's going to see that there's going to be 30 seconds of backlash for Drew Barrymore when the first day her show comes back. And then a week later, nobody's going to care.
You know, it'd be interesting to see is how the ratings have dropped off. Like, has anybody even noticed that the Drew Barrymore show is running reruns?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I'm sure there are people that watch it every day.
Yeah, there's got to be.
That are upset, obviously. I mean, she's on whatever channel it is, ABC, doing a daytime television show. But this is not, number one, this is not going to impact Drew Barrymore whatsoever. This won't even make her less likable. I don't think at all.
Yeah.
I don't think this will affect her. And then this is the door opening for everybody else to come back because they're going to see Drew Barrymore get no backlash. And then they're going to get back to work and start making money again.
There's just, I mean,
it was only a matter of time.
It'll be one thing to do the Drew Barrymore show without writers, though. It'll be another thing if, and I think this is a long way off of happening, but for them to start doing late night shows again, you need writers for those or they would suck. So, and some people think they suck anyways, but I'm saying you think they're bad now. Wait till you see how bad they are without writers. And I don't know how long the writers are going to stick this out, but there's no end in sight.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.